Hey everybody, this is No4271 coming at you with an Ancient Warrior in-depth discussion. In this video, we're going to be looking at the monsters for Ancient Warriors and what they do, how they work, and some of the cool things that you can do with them. Ancient Warriors are based on the romance of the Three Kingdom novels, and because of the Three Kingdoms, the Ancient Warrior monsters have three attributes: water, wind, and fire. The water monsters are your soldiers. They can send a card from hand or field to the graveyard in order to add an Ancient Warrior card. Different water monsters have different requirements of what you can send and then different restrictions of what you can add. The winds are more of your generic extenders. They can either special summon themselves or special summon another Ancient Warrior card. And then, of course, all these cards have a different effect, like a second effect, and then some of them even have protection effects. And then the fire monsters are your battle manipulators. They can either do something in the battle phase to help you either destroy cards or summon themselves, or they can manipulate the actual stats of the opponent's monsters to make their attack lower and easier to walk over. And then we have the one extra deck monster, which is linked to wind, and we'll get to that when we get down to the extra deck. So first up for the waters, we have Ancient Warrior Masterful Sun Moon. He has a protection effect that if you control another Ancient Warrior monster, he cannot be targeted by the opponent's monsters for attacks. So really cool, he can actually create another lock with another card. Vulture Swan, he has the same exact protection effect, so if you have only these two monsters on field, the opponent cannot attack, because you control Sun Moon, so you can't attack the Swan, you can control the Swan, so you cannot attack the Sun Moon. So a pretty cool protection effect, and he's kind of like the best Ancient Warrior monster on the field. As long as you can end on him and another Ancient Warrior monster, he has some protection, so hopefully he can make it to the next turn. So you kind of repeat some of these Ancient Warrior combos again. So you can send one card from hand or field to the graveyard. This is any card. You can add one Ancient Warrior monster from your deck to the hand except himself. So this is really good because you can search Yugioh Kong, and we'll get to why that's really good when we get to Yugioh Kong. Second effect, if your other Ancient Warrior monster's effect is activated, except during the damage step, target one monster your opponent controls and return to the hand. This is face up monster or face down monster. Just to bounce. And you can get this basically every turn as long as you have copies of Yugioh Kong left in your deck. Or potentially Zangday. Or even the Link. So a lot of ways to activate this effect. Use almost every turn. He's your main starter, the best Ancient Warrior monster in the deck. Suggested ratio 3. Next up we have Ancient Warrior Graceful Zugong. He sends for cost, has to be a continuous spell trap to add an Ancient Warrior spell trap. The second effect, same activating conditions as Sun Moon. Another Ancient Warrior has to activate the effects. Target one effect monster on the field and negate its effects. This card, it doesn't really see. It's kind of in a weird position where it sees more play than some of the other cards, but it also sees it's not a 3 of, and then some decks don't even run it, so it's usually like a 1 or 2 of. It's really good to be able to send the card to add an Ancient Warrior spell trap card because there's pretty good spells and traps in the deck. So that's good, but it doesn't special anybody. It doesn't have any way to really extend, which is kind of what the deck needs to do. Unless you send one specific spell to the graveyard, then you can extend. You also have to have another Ancient Warrior in your hand to do that. And also, the negate effect's cool, but by the time you activate this effect, you're going to be normal summoning him, or summoning him, and then activating another effect, and then activating this effect. So it's already a summon, maybe 2 summons, a couple effect activations. So your opponent hasn't negated that by then. It's what are they doing? They probably would negate it, so you probably wouldn't have anything really good to negate with this. It's only monsters you can't negate a field spell or something. Eccentric Lu Jing, the same cost and add as Zugong. Send a continuous spell trap to the graveyard to add an Ancient Warrior spell trap. His effect, same activating conditions as the other two. Target a spell trap the opponent controls and destroy it. Again, this card sees very little play because it doesn't do the extension thing, and his spell trap pop is generally considered less useful than the monster negate from Zugong, so he's usually played 0 to 1. Zugong is usually played at 0 to 2, and then Sun Moon is a 3 of. Next we get into the winds. These are the generic extenders, or for some other Ancient Warrior monsters with the effects. Zugong is probably the best wind, because if he's added from the hand, from deck to hand, by an Ancient Warrior card. So Sun Moon can do this, one of the spells can do this, and the Link can do this. He can special summon himself. This is an activated effect, so it can trigger Sun Moon's effect to bounce, or either one of these guys' effect. So that's typical play of Sun Moon. You send something, add him, special him, activate his effect, bounce. So you got another body on board, a bounce, and now you can make a link 4 or a link 2. Usually you're going to be making the link 2 Ancient Warrior monster. Yeah, it does have a second effect that if a spell trap is activated while you control a face-up continuous Ancient Warrior spell or trap, you can send the Ancient Warrior spell trap to the graveyard to negate the spell trap activation. It's really kind of good because some of the Ancient Warrior spells and traps benefit will have effects when they enter the graveyard. So this can not only negate the activation of the opponent's card, but also plus or gain advantage from the Ancient Warrior spell traps into the graveyard. And then you can do the same thing with monster effects too, but you need not only the Ancient Warrior spell and trap, but you also need Loose Swan on the field. Then you can do the same thing with the monster effects, negate the activation of the effect. It does not destroy, so it only negates the activation. We have Loose Swan. He has the protection effect, same as Sun Moon, can't be targeted for attack if you control another Ancient Warrior. His false effect is that the opponent controls all monsters you do. You can send one card from hand or field to the graveyard to summon an Ancient Warrior from the deck. When he resolves, he's really good. But if he doesn't resolve, it's kind of the same situation as Sun Moon, where he's just on the field, and it's like Loose Swan pass if you're going first, or even second if you don't have the ability to extend with what you would need at that point. Would either be Tensu if you're playing it, or 3 visits, because you can send 3 visits as cost. Especially summon another Ancient Warrior from your hand, and then maybe proceed from there. But we'll talk about 3 visits more when we have this spell trap video. When he's resolved, like I said, really good. You can summon the Sun Moon, then Sun Moon can add the Yugioh, and summon the Yugioh. So you get 3 monsters on board just off of this one card. His second effect is when an attack is declared involving another Ancient Warrior, you can draw 1 card. Both of these effects are once per turn. But it's just really good. We have the ability to special summon from deck, anything. There's no level restriction, so a small Ancient Warrior, a bigger Ancient Warrior, and then draw a card during the battle phase if an Ancient Warrior attacks or is attacked. General ratio is 2 to 3. He used to be a 3-0, but then most people decided that it's kind of hard to resolve him because sometimes if it only ends on 1 monster, then you can't resolve him anyways, or he gets negated just like Sun Moon would, and you can't resolve him. So he's played at 2 or 3. Zhuge Kong is played at 2. He's a really good card, but 3 is bricky because you do not want to see him in your hand. He does nothing for you in your hand other than being a normal summon for visits, or being a normal summon to have a spell trap negate. If you also have another Ancient Warrior spell trap, that continuous spell trap that you can have face up on the field. Guanyun, mini Pankratops. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can summon this card from your hand. And if they still control more monsters, you can target one monster they control and destroy it. And then he has a protection effect that opponent cannot target other Ancient Warriors besides him with card effects. He's level 7. Also, Zhang Dai is level 7, so you get both those guys on the field. You can do some rank 7 plays. There isn't really too many really good rank 7s, like Big Eye, Red Eyes Flare Metal to bottom from game if you can get him that low in life points. But he's 2500 body, they can push something himself. You can either try to destroy something or maybe go to battle phase and beat over something like a 3 negate Appaloosa. He's also, that effect is for summoning himself is not once per turn. So like Appaloosa, if it negates it, you can just summon him again. Because Appaloosa doesn't destroy and haunt the gate. And then, so, they can, it's free body, they can run over some stuff, or it can pop something. And it's not Pankratops, like you have to send him to the graveyard to get that pop. He stays on the field. Next up we have Zhang Dai. He can start to attack each monster your opponent controls. He can start summoning himself if you have 2 or more Ancient Warriors on the field. And then if the opponent controls more monsters than you do while he's on the field, you can activate the effect. He can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. So he's kind of a big body. Again, he's level 7 for rank 7 plays. If you have him in hand, or somehow to add him, and you can do the normal Sun Moon to add Zhuge Kong, to summon Zhuge Kong, and get 3 monsters on board. So you can keep, say, you can link him and Zhuge Kong away. For link 2 is quick effect bounce and add an Ancient Warrior card on summon. Keep Sun Moon, because Sun Moon's effect can activate on the opponent's turn if the link effect activates. So you can get 2 bounces, or keep, if you have a spell trap, you can keep Zhuge Kong on the field for the bounce and the spell trap negate. And plus 200 for each monster opponent controls, so he can get up to like 3,300, 3,600. Usually around there, big body, so he can kind of attack over anything like troublesome. Next up we have the fires, like I said, battle manipulation, attack manipulation. Chow Day, if you control another ancient warrior, he cannot be targeted for card effects and he cannot be destroyed by card effects. Kind of the boss monster, but he doesn't really see a lot of play. He's more of a win more card, so usually you might see him at 1. A lot of people don't play him at all. If a card of your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, or this card is in your hand, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card. So I mean, it's not too bad to special summon him, but again, like sending cards from hand to the hand or field to the graveyard, you kind of lose card advantage rather quickly in this deck. And this is another card that would cause you to send something. And none of the Ancient Warriors have any effects in the graveyard besides a couple of the spells, so you don't really have a lot of good targets for these discards. His 3000, his second effect's pretty good as a Yugioh Guardian effect. If he destroys a monster, sends it to the graveyard, especially some of that monster you can field in defense mode. So like you can take a key combo piece if you destroy it, or it's another body to make link material. So I think he's not a terrible card. Like you can definitely play him at 1. He's just kind of generally considered as a win mode card. Zhang Yun, the best fire monster in the deck, you play at 1 or 2. Battle protection, like if he's on the field, other ancient warrior cannot be destroyed by battle. And then he has 2 effects. Start a damage step. If the ancient warrior monster battles, you can summon this card from your hand, and the opponent's monster loses 1,000 attack. This is kind of good to beat over some like stronger stuff. Like some moves 1,800 and going against the 2,500. You can summon this, beat over that monster, plus have this guy, plus have him to attack, plus a second effect. If a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a card they control and destroy it. So it's a really good card. Lose 1,000 attack, free body. You can beat over some stronger stuff, and free pop if you kill something on the field, on the opponent's field is destroyed by battle or card effect. He is a level 6, so like there is no other ancient warrior level 6, so you can't make any rank 6 plays. And he doesn't go along with these guys to make rank 7s, and Chow Day is at rank 8. So you're not going to be using him for any XC summons, and he's also a fire, so it's kind of hard to make the link 2 with him, but you can because he's also a beast warrior. So kind of keep that in mind. He's played at 1 and 2, and then we have Jiao Wen. He's usually played at 0 or 1. You can target 1 continuous spell trap you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, half the attack of 2 face-up monsters you're on the field. The 2 monsters is mandatory. So if you have him, another monster on the field, well, both of those guys, him and the other monster, are getting their attack halved. Like, it has to be 2, it's not up to 2. But he also has a good repulsion effect, but still, like, the repulsion effect isn't really good enough to justify him being played. But if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle card effect, if he's on the field, you can target 1 ancient warrior card in the graveyard, except himself, and add it to the hand. So it's good recursion, but like you don't really want to be leaving this guy on the field for the opponent's turn. Like if somehow you destroy something on that turn, like he's just kind of a weaker card in general. He is a rank 4, so you can go to the rank 4 toolbox with him. He is a beast warrior, so you can make the link with him. But his force effect isn't really justifiable and not justifiably good enough to play him at more than 1. Because he would really need to be a normal summon or a special summon off of visits. And like I said, the key to this deck is you want to be able to put bodies on board, and he's not doing that. He can help you break boards, kind of, but he's not good enough to play at multiples. Then we have the Link 2. This is a really good Link 2. It requires 2 Beast Warrior monsters, including a Wind Ancient Warrior. So this is where Selmu and Zhuge Kong comes in handy, because Zhuge Kong is Wind. Selmu is a Beast Warrior. You can make this guy. All Ancient Warrior monsters gain 500 attack and defense when he's on the field, and on Link Summon, you can add any Ancient Warrior card, spell, or trap from deck to hand. So say somehow you had a way to make him without using Zhuge Kong's effect to special summon itself. So you can add Zhuge Kong, get another body on board. Or if you have another Ancient Warrior, and you can make him, and keep the Ancient Warrior on field, you can add Zhang Day to get another body on board, because he can special summon himself, because you have 2 Ancient Warriors. So really good Link 2, plus he has a quick effect bounce by sending a card from the hand or field to the graveyard. But it has to be a face-up card your opponent controls, so it cannot be face down. But you can bounce anything between monster, spell, trap, anything. You can bounce it. So this is kind of a general discussion of the monsters. In general, Sunmu is the best. Play at 3. Zugong, he's okay. You can play at 1 and 2. Lu Jing isn't that good. 0 to 1. Zhuge Kong is really good, but you want him in the deck, so play 2. 1's aren't enough. And 3 is Bricky. Loose Warren's pretty good. He's probably the second best wind. He has a good summoning effect, so you play him at 2 or 3. Guanyun is a mini pack on top, so you want to see him if you're going second, so you can play him at 3. Zhangde, play at 1 or 2. He's a big body, so like if you draw him in the opening hand, without a way to put 2 Ancient Warriors on board, he's kind of a brick. So you want to play him at 1, maybe 2. Chow Day is kind of a win more card. Play at 0 or play at 1. Zengyun is really good, but again, it's a big body, so you can't normal summon it without tributing. So you want to play him at 1 or 2, and then Jai Win. Its effects are decent, but not that good. Kind of the same situation as Zhojing. You can play at 0 or 1. The Ancient Warrior Link monster, really good. Add Ancient Warrior card on summon, plus 500 attack and defense. Quick effect bounce, really good card. Play at 2 or 3. You can play at 3 if you can play Extravagance in this build, so you can play it at 3. If you're tied on extra deck space, which you really shouldn't be with this deck, you can play it at 2. That's really good card. Hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Be on the lookout for the Ancient Warrior spell and trap discussion coming up next. I have a couple more of these tech choices. Have a video about that. Have a video about builds, strengths and weaknesses, and then from there we can do pure builds, hybrid builds, combo videos, etc. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.